Muy buenas a todos, soy Mariatxi, bienvenidos a un nuevo juego, bienvenidos a un nuevo indie, bienvenidos a Horace. Un juego que salió el 19 de julio, hace nada. Un juego indie que no tengo muy claro de qué va, pero bueno, un suscriptor, señor Super, me lo indicó, me dijo, puede que te guste, y la verdad que, bueno, estoy mirando un poco y gráficamente mola este pixel art. Lo he estado probando un poco, tenía mis dudas, pero nos venimos arriba y lo vamos a jugar. Tiene pinta de que va de menos a más, esperemos que así sea. Vamos a darle, manejamos una especie de robot, y bueno, pues vamos a jugarlo y a correr. Espero que se oiga bien. Vamos a hacer una partida nueva y vamos a empezar. Juego de plataformas con mucha carga, por lo que he podido ver en la historia, o por lo menos lo que he jugado. Está buena la música, es música clásica. Pip, 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 pip. Bueno, parece que son nuestros inicios.
And so, I was born. The first people I remember seeing were the old man, the old lady, and their daughter, Heather. After they'd said hello, the old man powered me down so he could install some software. I could tell they were nice people. The old man didn't give me a silly voice or stupid personality. And the old lady didn't dress me like a clown. Although for some reason, Heather really didn't like me. Once I'd had time to get used to walking, the old man asked me to dash from one end of the room to the other.
La X para sprintar, ¿vale? Lo he dicho, es un juego de plataformas.
Next, the old man spent a couple of hours building some wooden platforms. He said he wanted me to jump up them, but I must admit, I was scared. It wasn't until I saw Heather and her mother happily climbing up them that I decided it might be okay.
Vale, bueno, la saltamos. Ahí damos a X, el aire. Nos venimos arriba, mira.
The old man then rearranged the platforms. He told me to try to reach the other end of the room without touching the floor. Heather said the floors made
El suelo es lava. El suelo es lava, eso juegan mis hijos. Dicen, el suelo es lava y arriba el sofá.
The old lady arranged some pillows and blankets. She said it was in case I fell, but I think she just wanted it to look more like lava.
Vale, vamos allá. Muy bien.
When I reached the other side, the old man just smiled and said, "That'll do, for now."
Capítulo 1. Aprendiendo a caminar. Pedazo pavo.
A couple of days after those first lessons, the family had a big meal, and I was introduced to everyone else. The professor was the old man's brother. He was very quiet, and always seemed to just kind of stare at me. He had lived with the old man for 5 years. The house was so huge they barely saw each other. He preferred instead to stay in his room, leaving everything up to his butler, Mr. Deck, as he insisted everyone call him, although the professor always called him Anton. For a while, he called me a yellow bastard, but the old man made him stop, as he thought it sounded racist. Mr. Silton was the old man's driver. Before he worked here, he'd gotten in with some bad people and was the driver in a post office robbery, although
oficina de
it all
correos.
went wrong for some reason. Mr. Silton showed me a video of his band. I'm sure some people must like it, but I just found it terrifying. Then there was Alice. She was the cook. She was a nice old lady. When she was younger, she had been a TV chef. Then, years later, she had a small part in Coronation Street. Mr. Silton said, before she worked for the old man, Alice was quite a hoarder. She kept old newspapers and bicycles, and something about a poo in a shoebox. The next morning, the old man gathered everyone together to show them what I was capable of. "What else does he do?" asked Mr. Silton. The old man smiled. "He can help around the house."
O sea, es una especie de robot doméstico.
Newspaper collecting, asked Alice. "I'm not sure that's a good idea," said the old lady, "but he can do all sorts of jobs." "Yeah," said Mr. Silton, "shove a stick up his ass and he can do Deck's job." Now, said the old man, "we have company," pointing to some important-looking people. 2 large men, both called Gary, set up what the old man referred to as lasers. He said again, I should try to get from one end of the room to the other, but I shouldn't be worried, as I had a special chip which meant no matter how damaged I was, I couldn't die. He said it was like infinite lives in a video game. But when he realized I didn't understand, he said he would explain another time.
Bueno, vamos a ver. Vale, eso tiene pinta de que nos revienta.
Everybody clapped, except the important-looking men. "Not exactly a cold, calculated killer, is it?" said the man in black. The man in grey laughed. "What kind of artificial intelligence was that?" he asked. "Move right, unless there's something in the way." Okay, said the old man. He turned to me and whispered, "They're going to make it quite a bit tougher, but I'm sure you'll be fine."
Me está poniendo a prueba. Esto me recuerda a la época en la que jugaba al Donkey Kong en la maquinita de pilas.
photos, then rearranged the room one last time. The old man smiled. Now, there's no need to look so glum, he said. I'm still happy with everything you've done today. So this time, I was determined to do him proud.
Bueno, más. ¡Hostia! ¡Calambrazo! Se me han fundido los plomos. Ahora. ¿Te voy a echar? No, no hace falta echarse. Vale.
The old man's friends actually seemed quite happy when I made it through. We might have a winner after all, said the man in black. It's no Killbot 3000, but you can almost see the fire in its eyes. A couple of days later, the old lady said she had a surprise for me. My own room.
Qué raro, esos
She also
hombres de
wanted
negro.
to play me some music. I wasn't sure after what Mr. Silton had shown me. As if music wasn't amazing enough, the old lady then bought me a television set. I couldn't believe what I saw. I watched everything I could. Comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi. Anything anyone wanted to watch I would happily watch with them. Then one day, the old man set up a small box. He plugged some cables into the television and said, "This is what I meant when I said video games."
Videojuegos. Oh,
I played games at every chance I could.
como yo.
I took on everyone. I was unstoppable. I had enjoyed music, film, and television. But to me, video games really were the highest art form.
Coño, con ese videojuego me inicié yo hace, no sé, 30 y tantos años. No sé si se llamaba así. Table Tennis for 2. No sé si era este el nombre, pero algo así jugué yo. El del palo. Bueno. Me parece que de aquí ya no pasamos. Si tengo que ganarle, la llevamos clara. Venga, empate a uno, ¡vamos! Se va envenenada, ¿eh? Vamos, 2-1. Vamos ahí. ¡Por el abuelo!
Heather's birthday was a couple of months later. Her mum and dad had bought her a camera and arranged a day out by the sea so that Heather could take some photos, although I really don't think she wanted any pictures of me.
No le caigo bien a la chiquilla.
When the old man asked the professor if he wanted to go, he frowned and said, "I can't believe you want to spend time with that thing. It could destroy the world." I wasn't sure what he meant, but the old man just smiled and said, "That's what you said about the Game Boy. Anton, how about you?" "I don't think so," said Mr. Deck. "The last time I got in that car, Barry crashed us into a branch of Woolworths. I never would have gone into Woolworths of my own accord." The old man explained that the car was old and the brakes had failed, but Mr. Deck was having none of it. So Mr. Silton drove, and Alice came along for the fresh air.
Qué coche más guapo. Zar, buenas, ¿qué tal? Bienvenido.
Being outside. Although The old
Acabo de
lady
empezar.
kept telling me to be careful of the rickety old walkways. It felt like she was telling me off, but I think she was just concerned.
Supuestamente somos el robot y nos ha comprado esta familia y acabamos de llegar. Y entonces nos están contando un poco la historia de la familia. Somos el amarillo
The
ese.
old man and I stood on the cliff tops. I could see something in the distance. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the old man. He said it was a battleship that had sunk in the 1940s. But he looked so sad when he spoke about war. I didn't see what happened, but the metal platform Heather was climbing on had collapsed. She was safe, even if the rocks she was on looked very dangerous. The tide was rising, and we didn't know how long the Coast Guard was going to be, so I offered to climb down and get her. The old man agreed, but said I should be careful, as Heather doesn't have infinite lives, like I do.
Es un juego de plataformas. ¡Hostia! Cortocircuito. Me atraí gozar. No, la última. Por esto es por lo que no juego al Mario Maker. ¡Wow!
Heather was unconscious, and her leg was broken, so I picked her up as gently as I could. I decided it would be best if I didn't run the rest of the way. An ambulance had arrived by the time I had made it back to the cliff top. The medics made sure Heather was okay, and then took her off to hospital. A few days later, we all went to see how she was doing. She was fine, but would have to wear the cast for a couple of months.
Oh, me sonríe, por fin. No le hacía mucha gracia a la chiquilla.
Once Heather got to know me, we became good friends. We enjoyed the same films and TV. She was also annoyingly good at some of my favorite games. After a while, she became very interested in how I worked. Soon she knew as much about me as the old man did, if not more. We spent the next couple of months visiting other countries, as when it came to teaching me things, the old man always liked to pick interesting locations. He had explained the basics of mathematics to me at the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Taught me history in the dead of night, surrounded by mysterious giant stones. And even showed me science in action high up in a hot air balloon.
Este está todo el día con el fiti.
This is why I was surprised when the old man took me to a restaurant. It was nice, but it seemed very somber compared to the previous grand locations. He said he just wanted to chat, and this was nice and quiet. Plus it was his favorite place to eat. We talked about life, the universe, Douglas Adams, everything really. When I asked him why were we here, why did we exist, he just smiled and said, life is like a game, just don't expect to be finished anytime soon. When I looked puzzled, he said, well, everyone should have a purpose. So I asked him, what's my purpose? He thought for a bit, then said, so you want to be a real boy? Which just confused me even more. Eventually the old man said, for now, I want you to help clean things around the house. I must have looked unimpressed, as he then said, okay, I want you to clean
Mayordomo.
1,000,000 things. It didn't sound like the meaning of life, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere.
Capítulo 2.
The next day, the old man said he wanted to install some more software, so he powered me down. When I came to, he said Mr. Silton had a joke for me, and that I should pull his finger. I don't think I got the joke, so the old man powered me down again. This time when I pulled Mr. Silton's finger, I got the joke, but it wasn't very funny. The old man then explained that he had installed a special chip which allowed me to clean away anything that was broken. He said it also tells me how many things are nearby, and how many smaller things are in a bigger thing. It all sounded very complicated, but he said all I really had to do was pause, and it would bring up all the information I needed. He then said he wanted me to find and clean all of the items in the room.
Todos los objetos de la sala.
Told me
Bueno.
there would be some chains to climb, but that would be nice and easy, as I just had to press up. He then finished by saying, when I had collected all the items, I should come back here.
Muy pequeños con todos estos cacharros. Ahí va, me voy abajo. Uy, me he dejado esto. Ha dicho que podemos estar 25 quedan, vale. Tres. Me he dejado tres. ¿Y dónde? Mira aquí. Ahora, todo eliminado, venga.
The old man then asked the old lady Heather and I to follow him outside. I was happy too, as it was a lovely hot day. The old man said he was worried that Alice had been calling again, She had filled up a small barn with old bicycles and newspapers. Heather said, "This would be a perfect chance to properly test my new powers." The old man thought for a second, then said, using the steptoe chip, "I should find and clean at least 300 things." When we explained to Alice what we wanted to do, she seemed scared. But after the old lady kindly explained that, well, the barn was starting to smell, she said it would be okay. "One last thing," said the old man. "If you want to use a door, just push up." When I was about to enter the old barn, Mr. Silton said he had seen some mushrooms growing inside. He asked me to give him any that I found. He then winked, but I wasn't sure why.
Setas, al más puro estilo Mario Bros. Pinchazo. Ay, buen pelo. Coño, despacio, despacio, tú loco. ¡Ostras! Creo que me queda este, ¿no? ¿Qué me queda? ¡Uno! No me jodas. Ahí arriba. Hala, vámonos. Somos el limpiador oficial de la familia. Y este con los bonquis ahí.
It wasn't the days getting shorter, or the evenings getting colder. It was the falling leaves that really made me feel sad. As we watched the trees blowing in the breeze, the old lady said, "The leaves must fall before the blossom comes." She had already explained the seasons to me, so for once, I actually understood. But it didn't make me feel any better. The old lady obviously had enough of my moping, and said, "Right, next week we're going to have a party." For some reason she insisted that we were all going to wear costumes. Heather was very excited and said, "I've got some perfect ideas."
Halloween. Three times. Buenas, bienvenido.
It was terrifying. Everyone was dressed like someone else. I think I was meant to be some kind of pumpkin, as everyone kept shouting, "It's the great pumpkin." Still, at least Mr. Silton was having fun telling everyone his joke. And I suppose Heather's costume was quite flattering. After what seemed like forever, everybody left, and things got back to normal. Heather was allowed to watch a scary film before she went to bed, but I had to help Alice and Mr. Deck clean up. I wasn't happy about this, but the old man said if I was quick, then I could watch the end of the film with them.
Me está haciendo currar como un negro.
Alice was vacuuming, and Mr. Deck was taking down the decorations, so I thought I should clean up the plates and glasses. The ear-splitting sound was the fire alarm. As usual, Mr. Deck blamed Mr. Silton, saying he was probably smoking one of his jazz cigarettes. But then the professor appeared. He said that there was something burning in the kitchen. Alice looked confused, saying that she hadn't cooked anything since the morning. We were all surprised when Mr. Deck opened the oven. Inside was a large black globe and a slightly burnt pair of men's underwear. Suddenly the old lady burst in. She looked terrified. She kept shouting, "There's someone on the roof." When we went outside, it slowly became obvious that it was Mr. Silton. He was completely naked and playing his guitar. He shouted down, "When I finish this song, I'm going to fly." The old lady said, "Oh my God, I know this one, there's only about 30 seconds left." The old man then quickly turned to me and said, "You know what to do."
Se acaba el tiempo. Se viene abajo, tío, las...
By the time I had made it up to the roof, Mr. Silton was beside the edge. I tried to calm him down, but he was acting even more bizarre than usual.
¿Qué cojones? Se habrá puesto moro de las setas esas que se... Robot salva a un local idiota.
After an hour or so, Mr. Silton was fine. He said he had eaten some bad magic mushrooms.
Las setas que hemos recogido antes.
Wondered why he hadn't doubled in size. Still, he was soon laughing and joking with the paramedics. One of them said he looked like the world's worst clown. I don't think Mr. Silton liked that. So he told his own joke. But that just made the other paramedic call him Marshmallow Marso. I don't think he liked that either, but at least he was still in one piece.
Creo que ese tutorial cita todavía.
A month or so later, Heather and I were playing video games, when the old man said he wanted me to come outside. He said it had been a year since I had arrived, so he had a present for me. He placed the teddy bear high up on a wooden platform. He then told me I should try to pick it up. Try as I might, I couldn't reach the teddy bear. However, I still don't understand what happened next.
Señor Super, buenas. Ha palmado, no jodas. Es un infartaco. Sí, señor Super, este es. No me recomiendes más juegos, que no puede ser. Poco raro, ¿eh? Pero yo creo que estamos en el tutorial todavía. Pinocho. Es raro que a ver, es que están contando una historia, básicamente, desde que ya hemos llegado a la familia, que nos ha comprado el abuelo ese, todo lo que ha ido pasando en un año hasta que fallece. Entonces yo creo que es un tutorial. Pero vamos, no sé. Gráficamente me mola. Pixelar está muy bien hecho. Un poco grande, pero... Llevamos 3 times, llevamos 40 minutos. Hay que darle un poco más, hombre. Seguro que despega. Y si no, pues mala suerte. Toma, cacharrazo que me han dado. Ahí se llevan al abuelo, que es el que ha palmado y es el que me compró. Y el que me programó, de hecho. Nada, me acaban de apagar. ¡Hala! De vuelta. ¿Dónde he salido? Bueno, hasta aquí el juego. ¿Qué dices que ya paras 3 times? No pares, hombre. El juego es raro de cojones. Las cosas como son. Llevamos 40 minutos de juego y ahora hemos jugado 10 minutos. Lo demás es todo historia. Bueno, pero no pasa nada. Espero que... Supuestamente es un juego de plataformas. Y ahora esto tiene pinta de que... va pasando el tiempo, ¿no? Me gusta la música. También, aparte de los gráficos. Del gameplay, vamos a darle un poco más de tiempo. Depende de las conclusiones que saquemos, no le demos nunca más caso al señor Super y ya está. Yo creo que nos va a sorprender, ¿eh? ¡Qué guapo! ¡Hostia! El Old Run. Anda que no he metido monedas de 5 de 5 duros a esa máquina. Mi juventud. Los créditos y se acaba.
Was I dead? Was this heaven? It sort of looked like the basement bathroom. It was the shoes the old man was going to give me. I thought I might as well put them on. They were just the right size. The old man's hat fit me pretty good as well. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I wore it.
Capítulo 3. Mi mundo hecho trizas. Nada es hermoso desde todos los puntos de vista.
Amazingly, the shoes allowed me to defy gravity. Or maybe it was the hat.
What?
Part of the basement was flooded, and the stairs had collapsed. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted to get back upstairs.
Te he dicho que nos iba a sorprender.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Mira la corbata, me había fijado. What? ¡Qué bueno! Ah, si nos enganchamos. Ah, muy bien. ¡No! Vale, si llegamos al techo. Yo quiero los zapatos así, tío.
How long had I been asleep? Months? Years? I was so confused. Where had everybody gone?
Ah, o sea, estaba en la mansión. Me había metido en el sótano de mi casa. Después de muerto el abuelo.
I was slightly scared. This was the first time I had been outside on my own.
Madre mía, cómo se ha subido el volumen. Hostia. Odisea del espacio, ¿no? Odisea 2001. Pom, pom. Pues ha pasado unos añitos, ¿no? Parece ser. Está la casa un poco derruida.
I knew what I had to do. This had to be my purpose. I would clean a million things, so I could become a real boy. Whatever that meant.
¿Cómo se ha subido el... Se viene muy arriba el volumen, tío. Solo. No entiendo por qué.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to
Alguien chilla,
open
tío.
it.
Adriana, buenas, mía. Coño, está haciendo.
The screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms, but the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire. The people screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified. At first the man looked like he was ready to fight me. But after I
Hombre,
convinced
señor
him
Super, gracias
that
por ese
I was
host. Hombre, si
able,
funcionan.
he calmed down. There was no way I could carry them all at once, so the children went first.
Ahora ya me saco los peques. Chema. Gracias por dejarme, señor Super. ¿Pero qué me estoy, a dónde me estoy yendo, tío? Me he metido por la puerta que no era.
I dropped the children off at the front door and promised them that I would be back with their parents.
Me da que no.
The fire was getting much worse, so the woman went next.
Ahora no puedo saltar. Ah, sí puedo saltar. Los dos correr. Vale. No sé qué tal. Se oye muy alto, ¿no? Es que cambia el sonido, tío. Creo que era aquí. Sí.
All the woman said was, "Thank you. Please hurry."
Se está poniendo chunga. Joder. Esa puerta no puedo. Debe ser por esta. Tampoco. Uy, qué jodido está.
I managed to get back. The man was unconscious. I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
¡Ay, este pesa más! Vale, perfecto, citas, gracias, tío. Se ha venido abajo.
I helped the family set up a tent so they had somewhere to stay. The kids were excited as they got to camp outside, but I think they knew they had just lost their home. When I mentioned my quest to clean a million things, the man said I should look through the rubble of the house, as they had no use for it. So, when everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage. There wasn't anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console. With a bit of fiddling, I was able to get them to work. So I sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime. As we talked, the man opened a bottle of wine. I asked what had happened. Why was everything so ruined? The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed and said, "There was a war." "Yes, a war," said the man. One side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it was all over. Everything gone. Everything destroyed. "Well, it's late," said the woman. "We should really get some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow."
Pues sí que he estado tiempo dormido, bueno, apagado.
In the morning, I asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. "Crap old house, bad wiring, constant electrical surges from the unreliable power plant. Take your pick." He said,
El de atrás no tiene la culpa,
"If we had
seguro.
the money, we'd move to the mainland. But we can barely feed ourselves, let alone buy a new house, so for now we're left here with the rest of the scum." But he did say I should head to the mainland, as there would be plenty there for me to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, "Before the war, my lovely wife used to be a fisherman." "Fisherwoman? Fishing person?" "I used to catch fish," interrupted the woman, "and Seeing as you saved us all from a fiery end, maybe you would like to borrow my boat to get to the mainland. I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Pero hay cosas aquí para coger, ¿no? Antes de viajar al continente. Vamos a ver. Vamos por el otro lado. ¿Ves? Se ha vuelto a subir el audio. Ahí va. Ah, claro, es que si llego... Claro, no me acordaba que si llego gira. Y aquí pondrá 306 cacharros para coger, ¿eh? ¡Ey! No veo, no veo, no veo. Coño, ¿hasta dónde voy? Uy. Vale.
I was surprised to see an old man, but not as surprised as he was. It turned out he was blind. He was kneeling on the floor with his hand in a drain. When I asked him what he was doing, he said his cat had crawled into the pipes, and he was trying to get her out. He was very happy when I offered to help. He said there was no way we could reach her from here, so if I was willing, I could make my way through the sewers and get her from the other end. He said he would turn off the water for as long as possible, but I would have to run, as the pipes would soon fill up again. I happily agreed. So he gave me a key. He said this will open all the sewer gates. Go through here, then down the ladder, and through the big door at the bottom.
Saxofonista. Toda la cheta eliminada, perfecto. Ahora vamos a rescatar al gato. Al gato.
I better run.
¡Coño! ¡Ahí va! Ya, ¡qué estrés! ¡Coño, el agua! ¡No! Ah, que sube y baja. La madre que lo parió. ¡Ay! Sí, supuestamente es lo que me pidió el abuelo que me compró. Joder, macho. ¡Ay! Que me voy a coger esas dos, tío. Que caga prisa soy. Relájate, relax. Bueno, ya las tenemos, va. Me ha costado, madre mía. Joder. No estamos gente suficiente para dedicar todas las muertes. Vale. Vale. Mejor. Joder, macho. ¿Cómo coño? ¿Ahí no lo parió? Oye, que le den a ese. Ya está, ya lo hemos cogido, ¿no? A base de morir. Tenemos vidas infinitas, nos ha dicho el abuelo. Vaya. Más o menos sí, va de rumba, sí. La puerta, mierda. Pues me falta algo, porque no me ha contado, no creo. Nos hemos dejado algo para recoger. No. La madre que lo parió. ¡Hostia, esto culo! Por ir paseando, la madre que me trajo. Veo todo el pichi ahí andando. Ahora, cojones, ya me ha costado.
She was fine, if a little confused. I was horrified. It looked like me, but it shambled around like something from the film we watched on Halloween.
Vale, vamos a saltar, pero no puedo correr. Ah, sí. Vale, con el gatito sí podemos correr. No podemos correr con la gente. Epa. Ahí está. Mira, me siento un café.
Happy to have his cat back. He looked so content with her sat on his lap. I told him about the thing I saw, but he just laughed and said, "Those bastard robots, they're always getting up through the pipes. Don't worry though, it'll never get through the big doors. If I had my way, we'd have blown up the lot of them when we had the chance." I wasn't sure what he meant, but I decided now wouldn't be the best time to tell him I was a robot. The man laughed and said, "Don't worry, I know who you are," and told me that he knew the old man.
Sí, conocía al abuelo.
As we chatted, the man brewed himself some tea. He said that he had worked for the old man. In fact, he had lost his sight in one of the old man's factories. Strangely, he smiled at this thought. "He always did me right," he said. "When I had my accident, the old man said he would look after me. And he did. He always made sure I had enough money, and he let me move into this old pumping station on his land. Which reminds me, I have something here for you." He rummaged around behind a cupboard. Then he continued saying, "The old man wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but fate wouldn't allow it." He passed me a large box. It was empty. I thought about pretending to be excited, but the man said, "Wait a minute, it's empty, isn't it?" He slumped back in his chair. "I was robbed a few months ago," he said, almost in a whisper. "It's strange, they took practically anything metal, but left loads of food and a brand new saxophone." The man looked sad, so I thought I would try to change the subject. I told him about my quest to clean a million things. This at least made him smile. He said I was welcome to go back through the pipes anytime I wanted, as there were loads of old things in there that could be cleaned away.
Bueno, ¿qué habría en esa caja, tío? Coño, agua. Hostia, por ahí no. Vamos a meter en la iglesia y creo que lo vamos a dejar ahí. Te voy a cenar. Un ojo curioso, diferente. Bueno, otro de estos que... ¿Puedo entrar? Sí, puedo entrar en la iglesia. Uy, puedo abrir todas las puertas con esa llave. Perfecto. ¿Y esto?
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Pues aquí parece que nos hemos adelantado, pues no puedo coger cosas. Igual es la caja se podía como que ponía gloves, ¿no? Guantes. Pues nada, lo ponemos ahí. Hostia, vaya calabrazo. Bueno, lo vamos a dejar aquí. Me tengo que ir a cenar. Le seguiremos dando, señor Super. No sé qué decirte, no sé si te va a hacer mucho más caso, ¿eh? Bueno, pues habrá que darle más. Llevamos una horita de directo y lo seguiremos probando. No queda más. Seguiremos dándole aquí desde la iglesia y veremos a ver qué pasa. A ver qué se desenvuelve esto. Si nos convertimos ahí en el, como dice 3Times, en el nuevo Romba. Así que nada, gente. Chema, 3Times, señor Super, Adriana, Zar y compañía. Vamos y ceno y luego a la noche, si el calor lo permite, que hace mucho calor, muy en Pamplona, pues le damos alguna cosa. Sí, me gusta, sí, súper, sí me gusta, sí. A pesar de que tengo curiosidad por saber qué pasa y sí me gusta, sí. Al principio era un poco, los primeros 40 minutos, hostia, demasiado diálogo, demasiada historia, pero ahora parece ser, me imagino que encontrarán la guerra y veremos a qué ha pasado la familia, bueno, lo jugaremos, no te preocupes. Me puedes recomendar más juegos. Venga, gente, nos vemos luego. Gracias, un placer. Hasta luego.